What's up, everybody? Welcome to the No Scrubs Allowed podcast, where we were out last week because, of course, it was Happy Thanksgiving. And over here at the No Scrubs Allowed, we are thankful for being American. But on a personal level, Seal, what are you thankful for over this past week?
I'm thankful for my family. I know that's kind of like a blunt answer, but just more so than ever. Like realizing this life, you get one spin around. This life cycle doesn't matter how many spins around the sun, it's gonna stop one day. So just becoming more thankful and just like more conscious of time spent, I guess. And so this was one. I mean, I worked all fucking day on Thanksgiving, but just being thankful for what I have and who I have it with.
Nice, man. No, that's great. We had this is, if you know me, which obviously Seal knows me, this was pretty obvious, but we had a little thankful tree at dinner, and of course I put Koa as my thankful. He really is my family, or he was for a long time. So Seal knows both of my parents are gone, and my brother is across the world, and we barely see each other. So for a little while, I just had Koa, and it was crazy. But I'm very thankful for him. But then now I'm very thankful with all the people that have come into our life. We got to have two Thanksgivings, which is more than I've probably had my whole life with my family. So we had it in back-to-back days, but it was fun. We got to make food. We made stuffing from scratch. That shit was dope. It tasted so good. We made mashed potatoes, all kinds of shit. So it was
You want to hear
fun. It
some
was cool.
crazy shit?
What's up?
To this day, I've never had stuffing.
Yo, we made some good stuffing.
I just tell people I don't like it because what is it?
Basically
What is it?
just soggy bread. Yeah.
Yeah, so
It's so
weird.
good though. It's so good.
Like, and that's just so. Let's talk about that. So I've heard a lot of weird things over this past week. I guess of like this woke world we're in, this dumbass. Let me be different world we're in. I guess not dumbass, but I'm gonna say yeah, dumb people who want to do dumb things. Like, oh, let's have a steak dinner on Thanksgiving. You can have
Ooh.
that literally any other Thursday of the year. You can do that any other Thursday. If you call your friends, if you call 8 of your friends and say, "Hey boys, let's have a steak dinner," they're going to be down and not ask any questions
Hell yeah.
unless it's on Thanksgiving. They're going to be like, "Bro, on Thanksgiving we're going to do a steak." Oh, I mean, all right, I'll come over after I go to the rental's house and we eat fucking turkey like a real
Right.
person does on things. Just so many weird things people are doing instead of it. Oh yeah, we do seafood now on Thanksgiving. Our family just got sick. No, that's when you switch it up and just do a ham or just do a turkey, deep fry the turkey. You switch it up. Yeah, but yeah, one of those things I've never tried is stuffing, and it's weird to me. Could you ever think of not eating turkey, just dry ass yummy turkey, and just sweet yummy moist ham on Thanksgiving?
We almost did not have turkey this year. But to your point, no, I mean nobody wanted to make a turkey. But Mama came through at the end of the day and was like, "We gotta have turkey. It's Thanksgiving," and she popped that shit out. So that was cool. Um, no, it was a good weekend. It was good to have a few days off of work, even though I felt like I was busier than I am when I am at work. But um, it was a fun time, a good time of sports. We'll get to talking about sports. Really, other than Seals football team, football was a week of really close games that all went down to the wire. But at the end of the day, nothing really changed uh, in the grand scheme of things. The Eagles still look really good. The Bucks look like they suck, but they're gonna find a way to win the division, and just the same old, same old.
Just so you guys know, we're talking about professional football. I don't want
Right,
anybody on there moaning and groaning, texting us 5 minutes into you watching and saying, "You really think nothing happened in football this weekend?" We're talking about the pros right now.
right,
There's
of
a shit
course.
ton to unfold later
If
on, but
if there are true fans, they know we save college for the end because we have to make our picks.
indeed,
So, in professional
indeed.
football, yeah. So I mean, the storylines at least kind of stayed the same. My fantasy team, though, with their backs against the ropes, have back-to-back blowouts of the week. Not in our league, in my money league, had
Yeah.
back-to-back blowouts of the week to keep it alive. So I have to face a guy that's tied with me this weekend, and that's the big one. So hopefully I
Yeah.
can get through another week and make it into the playoffs and maybe make a little money.
I started Dameon Pierce against the Dolphins because I
I
went
did
to the
too.
game, and why? I just only did it because they were playing the Dolphins, and I wanted to watch and see what he could do. And I realized after the first two drives that that was the dumbest fucking decision in the world. The Texans had 18 total offensive yards at half. Going into the fourth quarter, they had 31.
I
So
put him in over Miles Sanders, and Miles Sanders dropped 31 points on Sunday night,
yeah,
so or Monday night, whenever they played. So it kind of sucked. But I still won, and I still got blowout of the week, so it
that's
worked out in
crazy.
my favor.
That's dope. But
Um,
yeah, nah, football, the big picture, like the Steelers and the Jaguars legit pretty much have everything in the palm of their hands. Like the Steelers more so have to have shit happen. But if the Jaguars win out, we're in.
yeah,
Like
it's
we
so
control
crazy.
our own destiny. It's weird as hell. Like we have some hard games coming up against Tennessee. We still you're not going to hear me say we don't have a chance. It just sucks that that fucking 5 game skid where we should have won 4 of them
Right.
easily, won 3 of them. Then that's going to come back to bite us in the ass. But it's still crazy to think of how mid-level the NFL has been this year. Like there's like 3 good teams, and everybody
Yeah.
else is fighting to not be the first pick in the draft with 4 wins. Like it's going to
Right.
be weird as shit. And the Texans are trying to fuck that up for everybody. But it's just been a weird season, and yeah, I think that's the big take to come out of this is that the Steelers and the Jaguars have a chance in the AFC that we thought was going to have 6, 7 teams just lock it up off rip, and that's not
Right.
the case.
Yeah, you guys helped each other out with you guys beating the Ravens and then them beating the Colts. Really made your division kind of a two-horse race. The Titans could run away with it, but you guys are right there. So that's pretty cool. We literally our division might be won with 5 wins. I don't know if anybody else. I guess we have to win again because we have to play the Falcons or the Panthers. So 6 wins, maybe we'll win our thing, which is just nuts to think about. Like obviously, I expect one team will win more than one game the rest of the way, but to have like a 7-10 team, like it's real possibility, and that's nuts, man. And then we'll get to host probably the Cowboys at this point, but it would just be it'd be a shit show to see like this like 7-10 team have worse draft odds than a team that's going to be like probably 10-7 and miss out with the other East team. So it's pretty crazy. But hey, I'm here for it. If we can make the playoffs, I've said all year long, I'm not going to bet against Tom in the playoffs, and I'm still not betting against Tom. But when you watch that game, Todd Bowles did not feel like letting us win. It was I know you were at a game, so you weren't watching the rest of the games, but
Ooh,
the other Browns came down and they scored with 32 seconds left. We had 2 timeouts and 32 seconds left. And I was like, all right, like it's hard, but it's a tie ball game. We just need a field goal. We go out there, throw like a 25-yard bomb to the 50-yard line. No timeout. Just let it run.
are you serious?
Yeah, I was like, so he's gonna throw the big play, like he wants to go get the field goal, but then he's not gonna call the timeout to actually go get the field goal. So it was really, it's almost like Brady called the play himself, but then didn't call the timeout. So I don't really know what was going on, but it was really a shit show, and then we lost in overtime.
Yeah, I saw a lot
But
of crazy shit. The Raiders snuck
that
one
game was
out.
nuts, dude.
Yeah, that was crazy. The Cowboys barely snuck one out. I'd heard or some shit like that on Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
Um, it's crazy. It's so weird how all these just basic ass teams are really starting to come up and do something so late in the season. And this is the point that we're going to start figuring out, right? I mean, there's only shit. There's 6 games left. We're usually 5 games left. So there's still a third of the season left. So this is where we're going to start seeing where teams are teams, where their injuries are coming in, and even now we're seeing a lot of these injured teams still going out, finding people in free agency, waiving these veterans that every Jacksonville Jaguar fan fucking Facebook page has. Oh, let's go pick up this guy. So we're starting to kind of see these teams that are going to be teams at the end, and there's still these Raiders teams that sneak wins, these Giants teams who still look like legit teams, and we're down to the witching hour, as Scott Hansen would say.
yeah.
It's just crazy as hell to see. The Commanders are in last place at 7-5 in the NFC least. Like this is a weird fucking year for the football.
Yeah, for sure. And we'll definitely start talking about that a bit more as it gets closer to playoffs. But let's move on a little bit and let's shift gears before we come back to college football because we got plenty of time and not as many sports to talk about. But let's talk about the World Cup. The World Cup is happening right now. I said in the beginning that we're thankful to be Americans. Barring Costa Rica making some shocking the world against Germany, USA is going to be the only team out of our region to make it to the knockout stage after Mexico and Canada got eliminated. If Costa Rica ends up getting eliminated, which they definitely have a chance not to, but it's going to be hard to beat Germany. How crazy is it that 4 years ago we weren't even in the playoffs? The World Cup. Panama makes it over us, and we're struggling. Canada ends up winning the CONCACAF, and everything's looking kind of down for the U.S. But then we come out there, we take the emblem off the Iran flag and say, fuck these guys. They get all pissed, and then we still beat them on the field. So it's just really cool to watch, to see our team be good again. And it's exciting because honestly, I think we have a shot against the Netherlands as well.
Excuse me, I do too. Shout out real quick to the Iranian press for like kind of ridiculing slash mocking slash kind of making fun of Tyler Adams
Mm-hmm.
in the press conference because he said the Iran. We've all said that, and until this all woke culture showed up and say you got to say Iranian. Like, oh, okay, well, Iran is funny to say, but okay, we'll change it. So for this guy to come out as like cruel as he did was not cool at all. And then to try to talk about him being black playing for America in a country that, bro, sit your ass down. Like we're not going to compare and contrast America and Iran. We're not or Iran, whatever the hell, whatever it is.
I think it's
We're not going to
Iran.
start talking about that on this podcast. We can go on for days about how we're both fucked in our own ways, but you can't say shit. Like you cannot say shit over there, buddy. Sit on your high horse. But that definitely lit a fire. That defense was insane. I texted you saying it was pretty boring at first, just getting a lot of opportunities, but we stayed on possession. Well, I should have shut my mouth because after I said that, possession went like 80-20
Yeah.
to Iran, and it looked scary there. But I feel like that's how this team is set up, kind of in the way of LAFC, to where nothing's getting past us. And if we can go get a goal, we have guys that can do that too. But most of our guys are going to be in the back end. Walker Zimmerman coming in there in the center back position was a fucking like a fresh of breath there at the end.
Yeah, it's crazy
Yeah,
that he didn't start, but I mean, Berhalter had the plan down. He was ready.
yeah, shout out to him getting these boys going. I'm excited, dude. Yeah, we definitely have a chance against the Netherlands, and yeah, it seems like the table is looking pretty good for us.
So, not to be lost on your little story, but the Iran media did what you said, but then let's not brush over the fact that Tyler Adams had the perfect response back to him. I mean, it was so beautiful. I mean, I don't, it's like a full paragraph, but he was talking about how like not everybody can grow up with different heritages and do these things, and it's not easy to go out and do it, but it's really cool. And like then he thanked the media guy for telling him how to say Iran or whatever properly. Like he answered it so clean. He didn't get mad or anything. So big shout out to him. I think that kind of gave us the leg up on taking the higher ground, which was really cool too. But back onto the field, like you said, the the draw against England made us look like maybe we could do something against the Netherlands, because the Netherlands don't score very easily, and we have not allowed a goal in like in the run of play. The only goal that we allowed was, of course, the Gareth Bale penalty kick. So we have not allowed a goal just during the game, and the Netherlands don't really score anyway. They're a defensive team, so if you're looking for goals, don't watch our game. Watch Argentina versus Australia or something. But if you want a good game that's going to come down to the wire and potentially end in PKs, this might be the game for you. And if you're the underdog, which America is, that's the game you want. You want to go to PKs if they're going to let you. The favorite doesn't want to go to PKs. So it's pretty exciting that that's actually a possibility that we could sneak a goal somewhere and maybe hold these guys off. But if they do score first, if they get ahead, it's going to be really tough to score on these guys. These dudes have two all elite world class defenders, and it's going to be pretty tough to score on them. But I'm happy out of all the group winners that are out there. What is it? Brazil, Argentina, England. Obviously, we can't
Argentina got
play
that
England.
rough loss.
Netherlands, France, probably going to be Spain. Like, I would much rather face the Netherlands out of all those group winners. So I think we got the easiest one out of all of them. So that's exciting. I'm ready.
Yeah, me too, man. It's gonna be a good day. Good
All
morning.
right. All right. So when we, yeah, I don't know what time the game is, but
It's gonna be 10 o'clock Eastern time, so you're gonna be up
7
way
a.m.
early.
Sorry, I wake up early anyway. When we're looking at the rest of these games, these things that the groups that are unfolding before your eyes, I know you don't watch a ton of soccer, but have you seen any teams that kind of make you go, "Ah, shit, this is probably the team that's gonna take this whole thing"?
Argentina, man, is still my team that I'm a little scared of. They could have got it. Messi's missing
The
that
PK.
PK really kind of took the wind out of them, but that's still my squad to get through this. They got a strong shot. They bounce back, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
I mean, I definitely have to look at Brazil. Brazil was already a favorite. Everybody talks about how good
Well,
Brazil is
is
and all
Neymar
this.
staying in or not?
Well, he got
How's the
hurt.
ankle looked?
His ankle was swollen like a beach ball, but he'll be back. I mean, like, not to knock his injury by any means. He twisted his ankle, but that's like just a soccer player's Tuesday night to twist your ankle. So he'll sit out the third game because they locked in a win, but he'll be able to play when it comes around time. So he'll tape that bitch up so tight it won't move, and he'll go play. So they're really dangerous. The one that I feel bad about, and I guess they still have a shot to come out of this thing, is Uruguay. I really thought that they were going to be better. They have not scored a goal this entire tournament. I picked them in my bracket challenge as this like surprise pick to win the whole thing. So for the fact that they haven't even scored a goal is really upsetting. I think that they will come away with something, but I mean, now they have to win and then kind of hope for some help. So, well, actually, I guess they don't have to hope for help because they play Ghana, don't they? So, or no, they play Ghana. So if they win, then they just have to hope South Korea doesn't beat Portugal, which is not going to happen. So, I mean, weirdly enough, not scoring a goal in your first two games, you still have a shot to come out of this on the positive end. But Ghana is no pushover, man. They're going to be ready to come through and they're going to be fighting for a win of their own. So, no, I'm sad with Uruguay, but I'm still hoping that my picks are coming through good. But Brazil just looks too strong, man. But I agree with you that Argentina looks tough too. Even their loss to Saudi Arabia, they outshot Saudi Arabia like 23-3 or something, and
That
ended up losing the game. So
did you see the whatever they call them, the coach's halftime speech?
no, I didn't.
Dude, for Saudi Arabia, he's like, "Yeah, Lionel Messi's on the pitch. Like, you want a fucking picture? Get a fucking picture after the field. He's a soccer player. He's human like you. Go fucking win. You want a picture? Cool. Go get a fucking picture or play fucking football." It was
Nice.
awesome. Like, it definitely like reminded them like, "Yo, we're still in this like against this guy that we're admiring and like idolize." And it was really cool. He's like, "Yo, wake the fuck up. Get a picture afterwards. Beat him now."
Nice.
And they did.
And just an aside to the group games that were today, I was watching it at lunch at work, and it came down to the wire big time. Not the games, but the group as a whole. It was Argentina versus Poland and Mexico versus Saudi Arabia. And with 3 minutes left in the game, um, Poland was going to advance over Mexico by the fact that they had less yellow cards. So the total, like the points would have been tied, the goal differential would have been tied, the goals scored would have been tied, and so it would have come down to who had least amount of yellow cards, and that was going to be Poland. But then Saudi Arabia scored with like 3 minutes left and made it goal differential that Poland went on. But that's how close it was. That's how nerve-wracking it was.
So
I was
Mexico
trying
would
to
have went in over Poland.
no. So so it was 2-0 Argentina beating Poland and 2-0 Mexico beating Saudi Arabia, and Poland would have gotten through based on yellow cards. So, but if Mexico or Argentina would have scored one more goal, then Mexico would have
Mexico
gotten
would have
through
won.
on goal differential. And so it
Okay.
went right down to the wire. And that's the cool part about soccer when you understand these things. Just as a casual viewer, you're watching two nothing games and you're going, this is dumb. But when you understand the scenario and you see how hard these teams are trying to score, even when in Mexico's case, they were up 2-0 with like 4 minutes left, and they were still trying so hard to score that Saudi Arabia went down the other way and scored. So that just makes for fun games. I'm glad that they play the game at the exact same time for this final group or match because you don't know what happened in the other game as easily, and so you have to try, which is super exciting. And I feel bad for Mexico just
Unless
because I live in Southern California and I have a bunch of Mexican friends, but it was fun to watch.
unless you're an American fuck who has like 8 TVs in their house and apartments and office buildings and shit to where you can have the Wells England game on too and watch them just totally shit the fucking bed right
Huh.
off rip.
I meant specifically the players don't know what's going on, and they're not the
Oh, true.
fans. Um, but like, yeah, Mexico. I'm happy that Ochoa's gone finally. He retired, the keeper for Mexico, so we won't have to deal with him anymore. But yeah, it's sad to see them go out in group stage. But whatever, it is what it is. All right,
Hey, I'm just
so
so does this mean that we should get all of the sites in 2026 now? That we're the only ones left in the big old Northern American continent? No.
well, no offense to Canada, but I'm not sure what they have to offer stadium wise. Mexico has Azteca Stadium in Mexico City, which is like fucking amazing. That's where
Shit.
they sometimes play football too. Now NFL. But I
That
don't
was
know what
hilarious.
Canada has. I don't know where they're going to be playing. I don't know. Probably
They
just
got
like the Toronto
they
soccer
have
field or
big ass
something.
Canadian football leagues and shit though, so they have
True.
stadiums.
I guess they have. Yeah, I
But
guess
that was
so.
funny.
But
What's that slapdick's name? Kyle Shanahan,
mm,
the 49ers head coach, speaking on uh the crowd in Mexico.
in Mexico City.
He wasn't sure if they were gonna know the right way for football on third downs. They were quiet for us, and uh, dude, you were the away team. He was like, yeah, it was real nice to see red in the stadium. That was for the Cardinals. Like, you're an idiot, bro. The more played the post game interview on the ESPN radio, the more I was like, this dude's a fucking idiot. But yeah,
That's
nah,
hilarious.
that's bro, Azteca is fucking amazing. That's like one of those, like, what is it called? Bucket list
I almost went
stadiums.
there for a soccer game, and what happened? I honestly don't know what happened.
Probably COVID.
Um, oh, that probably is what it is because it was for the CONCACAF Champions League, and LAFC was playing Team
Yeah,
America or whatever it is that plays over there, and we already had tickets and everything. Yeah, they had to refund us, so I guess it was COVID. Um, but I was
fucking
ready,
COVID.
dude. It would have been so fun.
Yeah, that's dope. I can't wait until it comes here, bro. That's gonna be really exciting. And like the way we do our like NBA finals, fan zones and all
Mm,
that stuff. Isn't I mean, you've seen the just even the players facilities that they have over at
yeah.
Qatar. That's rough. Like it'll be way better than Tentville they have going on. But that'll be really fucking cool and really kind of neat to see how they figure it out. Like we realize that this country that we're in is very fucking big
Mm.
compared to a lot of these host countries that have stadiums hundreds of miles apart on opposite ends of the country. So it's going to be fun to see how they do it, where they put these people, these as far as like planting them and cities for their chilling and shit like that, and then their travel. But yeah, man, we're hoping one's in Miami, which is it took us an hour and like 40 minutes to get home for traffic, and an hour and 5 minutes to get there. So
That's probably what it would be for SoFi for me too.
So way
So,
worth it. Probably not as much traffic. No, probably because there was about 38, 40,000 people in that stadium. The fucking noise stays, bro. That covering they have in Miami, smart. Noise stays.
How many people does Hard Rock hold?
I don't know the exact, just looking at it, maybe 45,
Because
50,
they're gonna have
maybe.
to
Because
like,
Jacksonville's like way bigger, I feel like. It has a
yeah, that's what
whole
makes me
third
think they're
deck.
gonna be using like college stadiums. Because that's what I was thinking. And like the big house holds like what 100,000. The Coliseum holds like 80,000. And so to go to SoFi, which I think also holds like 50 to 55,000, instead of allowing like 80,000 people to go to the Rose Bowl or the Coliseum, I feel like that would be a fail on their part. But I don't know. We'll
I
see.
saw that both Rose Bowl and I didn't see, but that's also just looking at Google's list
Right.
of looking at a website. But both sites were on there, so that would be cool as hell, dude. Not a cheap trip. We're not stupid for that, but
That's
it
why
would
we're
definitely
looking
be worth it.
local. No, I mean I'm gonna try to save up some money. Like I was telling you via text, we got like 3 years to save before tickets go on sale. And then once I see how much money I have, we can decide where we want to go. Like maybe we can meet in the middle, and go to like the Astrodome or Jerry World or wherever the fuck they play at now.
Travis
De
Scott has a
depending
place. No,
depending on how much money I save up, because if I have like $1,000 and the ticket is like 750, then I could still fly to Dallas and we can do it something like that. But obviously we'll just see whenever we get it down. But I'm excited too because that's something I definitely want to go to. The problem with that is that the Olympics are in 2028 here, so it's like in 2 years
yeah,
we got a couple things we want to try to get to. So the
yeah,
Olympics will be more expensive, probably. Well, at least for like opening ceremony and shit like that. But I could probably go to some swim meet or some bullshit that's like at some aquatic center down here or something and go to that.
yeah. That would be cool shit. I don't know what's going on uh, with my boy Garrett right now, but hey, maybe I'm not going to see him in the Olympics again until 28. It's looking up.
Is he doing bad or something?
I don't know what's going on with his ass. He likes to put like weird shit out.
Oh,
If
true.
so, if you're not like too close, you don't really fully know what's going on. But yeah, he's shut down for now for some reason.
Hmm.
I don't know if it's
Well,
injury or him being stupid. Like DeAndre Hopkins, not really stupid, but just not shit that's not allowed for
right.
pro athletes.
All right. So
But yeah,
before we get to college football, like I said, we have a lot
we got a lot
of
of
time, and there's only a few games because it's championship week. So I do want to touch on a few things that we don't normally talk about. I'm wearing a Red Wings hat. We don't talk about hockey all that much. Eddie is our resident hockey guy. The Red Wings are actually doing pretty well. We lost tonight in overtime, well, in a
yeah.
shootout, but we are 11-6-5, which is
It's
awesome.
two in a
We're
row.
if the
Dropped two
season
in a row.
ended,
So
yeah, if the season ended right now, we would be the first wild card team. So for that to even be a thing that the Red Wings are doing, we're still missing our superstar Bertuzzi, but he'll be back shortly. Um, when he went down, I texted Eddie and I was like, "Damn, man, Bertuzzi went down. This is gonna show, or like this is it. We tried, but our guy went down." And he was like, "Well, let's see what you guys are really made of if you want to win or not." And from that point, we went from the third wild card slot, which is just outside, to now we're the first wild card slot. So this team's showing heart, um, and they're starting to score goals, which is awesome. They also let in goals, which is not awesome. But they're pretty good, and they're good at home, which is really fun. But they suck the D in overtime. I'm telling you, like we have 5 overtime losses. We probably have 5 overtime games, like maybe 6, but we just cannot win when we get to overtime. I don't know what it is, but we're looking good. So go Red Wings. Hopefully we can sneak into the playoffs. I know that Yzerman definitely said now is the time to start winning. We're not trying to
yeah,
grab draft picks anymore. We're grabbing players. We're trading. We're buyers now in the trade deadlines and things like that. It's time to start winning. It's time to get back to Titletown, to Detroit, and it's exciting to see that they're doing well.
yeah. And these weird games like that we lose, like we have great goalie play this year, except when we're losing 5-4, 4-2. We'll win 6-1, 7-4. Then we'll lose
Yeah,
8-2, 3-2, like 8-3. Like it's weird, but yeah, our strength is definitely in our goalie play right now, definitely getting us back up there. but these weird blowouts like that we're starting to see more and more in hockey is it's crazy as fuck. We need a dude that can stand on his fucking head, and we thought we had it. It looked like it. I don't think we gave up more than one goal for like the first 8 games of the season. And am I right on that?
I think so, yeah.
I think I saw some stupid Sports Center stat.
We just need him to get hot at the right time, man. And
Oh no, yeah, it wasn't. We didn't give up more than 4 goals for 8 games of the season until we lost 8-3. Yeah, that's what I said. But yeah, so we're straight. But like this new day of hockey, it's fun to watch. It's really fun. I miss the fights. We don't ever see fights anymore until the end of the
that's
fucking
true.
season when we start getting storylines. Like whenever the season started out, I texted you. No, I didn't text you. I who did I ask? Did I text Eddie? Like did they outlaw fighting? Is fighting a big thing nowadays in hockey?
They still can do it, but it's more structured, and like you almost have to tell the ref that you're gonna do it. And he
But
like
wasn't that the dropping of the gloves? Like, hey,
yeah.
get it out.
But now it's like you sub people in that like are gonna be in for the fights, and like it's stupid in my opinion. I don't know if there's actual rules on it, but it seems a lot more structured now, which is dumb.
Yeah, I don't like it. I mean, we did have that big brawl last year that we loved and salivated over and talked about for a week and a half, and that's probably why.
I went to one game last season and there was a fight, so I'm still got good records for my fighting.
Hey, maybe the Red Wings just enjoy the sport a lot, and they don't have any brawlers. They just have ballers.
Maybe that's what it is. All right, so but yeah, they're doing exciting. So just keep a watch out for hockey for their thing, doing their thing. So moving on to basketball, man, I'm very sad that the Bulls suck right now because my boy Devin Booker put 51 points up today, and he
He
sat the
did.
entire fourth quarter because they were
Damn.
absolutely dominating. So yeah, he shot 20 for 25, so an 80% shooter tonight. Was just killing it, and then sat the entire fourth quarter. So it's crazy because if it weren't this year, he would be an MVP guy doing his thing. He's averaging like 29 points a game. He's killing it. And I'm like, hey, 29 points a game is fucking dope. And I go and look at the stats, and there's like 7 people averaging more than 30. So I'm like, oh, all right, I guess it's not that dope anymore. But he's showing up. He's doing his thing. We're back to the top of the table in the West. And
Yeah,
it's exciting, man.
this isn't 2007 LeBron. Like you can't win just off of scoring 29 a game.
Right.
You got to get some assists in there. You got to get some rebounds going. Uh, but man, yeah, no, these numbers would definitely get you a MVP in the 2000s for sure. I mean, Steve Nash did it with what 21 a game and 8
Yeah.
assists or some shit.
And his team was like the 6th seed in the in the West. I don't know how Nash won
Yeah,
it, but I'm happy that
most
he did.
undeserving MVP ever, but it was Steve Nash, so we were loving it back in the day.
Right.
But yeah, nah, he's definitely having that caliber year, and that's something y'all have to keep having right now with the injuries going on. Chris Paul should be back soon, but
Yeah.
I saw CJ's wild hair going tonight on my phone watching the
Yeah.
game. But yeah, I think that's his new. We're gonna have campaign and CJ.
That works.
Sound good? All right, but yeah, you guys look good. My dumbass, I put money on both of us to win, but I went
Yeah.
money line instead of spreads for some
Mm.
stupid reason on both games.
And both of us won by like 30, right?
Yeah,
It
so
was
I didn't get nearly as
domination.
much, both minus some stupid shit. And yeah.
Yeah, so both of us are up near the top of the table. It's weird because obviously you guys weren't expected to do as well as you're doing, which is awesome. But the guys that are in front of you, not the Bucks, but the Celtics, they were not expected to do this either. So let's talk real quick. We'll jump back to your team for in a second. But the Celtics lose their coach. They get another first year dude just off the streets. And they're 18-4. They're killing it. They're the best offensive team by a mile. Jason Tatum is putting up actual MVP numbers for 2022. What is it about this team, and how are they doing so well in spite of all this crazy turmoil? They lost in the finals, all this stuff. How are they bouncing back so well?
Because it's a vetted team. It's not like they have these young guys. Jason Brown's a year ahead of Jason Tatum. Tatum's in his
Jalen
fourth.
Brown.
Jalen Brown, but Jason
Yeah.
Tatum's in his fourth year now. So they have 4 or 5 year guys that are their young bucks. Marcus Smart is in the Jalen Brown draft, so he's old head as well. And he's been an
Right.
old head since 2018 and the playoffs the year after he was fucking drafted. Like,
Right.
it's just him. They have Devin White, smart as fuck, in the league for 5+ years. Malcolm Brogdon, who I think has only been in the league for 4 years, so he's the young guy too there. And then, oh yeah, we have a fucking 80-year-old amazing GOAT and Al Horford. Like, that team they don't need a coach. They're one of those teams, honestly, that have played together for 5 years now almost. Like, the whole
That's
fucking
true.
core has played together for a long time. They just need a guy that knows what they're doing, and that's where the Celtics were smart and just bringing somebody in house and
True.
letting them come and man up and take reins and hiring him to go forward for this year after dumbass tried to go to the Nets. But so yeah, this is the new coach going forward, and you don't really need a guy. You just need a guy that knows these players and will listen. And
Right.
hey, like, and they have these guys, the Grant Williams. They have these. What does Chuck call them? Not the Jacks, but the Joes. They have
Mm.
these Joes, not the Jacks, the Joes, and Grant Williams and shit that are dogs and will go out there and score nothing and get 15
Right.
rebounds, or they can go out there and fucking put up 30. That's an all around team, and that's like the way it's going, the way it's seated right now. Out of 7 games, I'm honestly not worried about the Sixers. Like, this is a
Right.
true. What am I scared of? I'm scared of the Celtics and I'm scared of the Bucks. Those are the
Mm.
2 teams ahead of us. We've beaten the Bucks twice, or no, we've beaten the Celtics twice already. Haven't beaten the Bucks yet, but hey, those are the 2 teams I'm scared of in the 7 game series. I would be scared and worried, but if that happens, that means we're probably in the Eastern Conference Finals,
Right.
and we're way better than any Hawks team that ever got close to touching the Eastern Conference Finals, and that includes any Clyde the Glide bullshit ass teams. That was the Blazers, right?
No, that was the Hawks. Or
Well,
no,
yeah,
Clyde was
both.
the Dominique
I think he was on
Wilkins was
Dominic.
the
Yeah,
Hawks.
any of the Dominic Wilkins. That's any of these teams that were ever in Atlanta. This 2022 Cavs team is way better than you motherfuckers. The only thing is we don't have a true 3 guard. We let him go to get Spider-Man, which I'm fine with because we still have a couple months until the trade deadline, and even then we can try to go find, like, get Shaq to play the 3 guard or some shit. Go get Taco, something to be able to fucking calm down Jason Tatum's 7 foot ass and
Yeah.
Giannis's 8 foot ass.
Yeah, you guys need just a defensive stopper. You guys need the Bridges that we have, the Herb Jones that the Pelicans has. Just somebody that's going to be long and stand in front of this dude and not let him go. But you talked
I
about,
mean, I
yeah.
love Dean Wade, but hey, see this? This ain't gonna work in the NBA. Larry Bird
So he
ain't
needs to
happening no
get
more.
tattoos. Is that what you're saying? I'm just kidding.
I have tattoos. I've gotten more. So am I going to be better this next season in the Big Guys League?
Maybe.
Probably not.
Maybe.
Not because of the tattoo. I'm going to need 3 more tattoos, start a sleeve, and then I might have it.
But yeah, you glossed over. You traded out your people to get Donovan Mitchell. For what it's worth, Lauri Markkanen is dominating. But they've skidded now. I think they've lost like 9 straight games, and they're back to tanking like they were supposed to do, which you called when I asked how they were doing good. But anyways, back to you guys. You got Donovan Mitchell, and like I'm looking through with Mitchell and Garland, and realistically looking, and I'm not sure of a backcourt that I would take over those 2 guys. There are specific players, obviously, that like they're not the 2 best players in the NBA, but just as a backcourt, like, and that's including Chris Paul and Devin Booker. Those 2 guys are exactly what you need to play and to be clutch. Both guys are super clutch. It's just crazy. And to look through, like I said, pretty much the entire team, the only ones that could even challenge it is mine, Dallas, if they could find another person to be the guard, and then Memphis. I'm not sure what other teams would even
Philly
be.
and Tyrese and James Harden too is
Harden's
one that
trash.
stands out to me. But no, I honestly, even without being a homer, I agree with you. These are 2 guys that can put up 30 and 10 on the same floor at the same
Yeah.
time. Like they can control the whole team, and we've seen Garland is becoming that guy who can play 38 plus minutes. We know Donovan Mitchell's a fucking track star. He's 6'1", has an 85-inch vert, and can probably run 50 miles without stopping. Like the dude's
Right.
a fucking athletic specimen. So yeah, these are guys that can control the whole game, and that's why I have a lot of faith in this team. Is because that backcourt is probably bar none the best backcourt in the league, pound for pound. When you put them compared to anybody else, yeah, you're gonna have perennial All Star, 8-time All First Team, All NBA, and all this shit. But with these two guys compared to any other 1 and 2, they're the real deal, man. And I'm excited to put them against the future Hall of Famer and Evan Mobley, which everybody's saying, which is stupid. His roof's better than all of these guys. His ceiling's way bigger than all. Calm down, bro. He's in his second year. Let's see what happens first.
Right.
But with Evan Mobley and Jared Allen, probably the best young front court down there, it's looking good. Just missing that one fucking piece, bro. Even if we could have kept Ooga Booga out of Kansas, that would have helped us out a lot.
Yeah.
Relying on Isaac Okoro, Dean Wade, it's gonna be tough.
Well, you guys will probably find you'll be a buyout kind of market because I don't think you want to make any crazy trades. But if there's a buyout candidate there, you guys will be ready to snatch him up as soon as he shows up. So that'll be exciting for you guys. So let's move on. Unless you had anything else in the NBA, and
Nah,
let's.
we're done with we're done with the NBA, but free Brandon Cooks. I forgot to say that. Feel so bad for that guy.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll take him in Tampa for sure. We could use it. Let him play quarterback. Why the fuck not? Just do something. But they don't like him. They hate him. I don't know
Bro,
why.
he looked more locked into the game than Tyreek did. Like I texted you early, and it wasn't
Yeah.
injuries or anything.
Hey,
He
Tyreek
just
popped up as questionable though on fantasy right after the game.
really. Well, he
Yeah.
did get blasted at one point, stayed in the game, but no, just every route he would sub out.
Hmm.
Even the hit he got blasted on, he stayed in, and I was like, "You're gonna stay in on that one?" Like he'd run a 10-yard and just walk to the sideline. And me and
Huh.
my buddy were like, "Yo, what the fuck's going on? Like, we came here to see him, and he's in like 3 plays out of the drive, and these are long fucking drives going on.
Wow.
Weird." And
Hmm.
it wasn't him looking over and running out. No, he's like, "Yo, y'all
Well,
got it."
I hope he is doing that again this weekend because I'm against him in fantasy. And really, this dude is he's in third right now, and all he has is Tyreek Hill and Amon-Ra St. Brown. And he has just won enough games because everybody in our league sucks except the two people that are dominating everybody. And so he's like just skidding by those two guys combining for like 80 points. And he gets like 20 from everybody else and he wins like 100-95. And he's like, yeah. So I just need the Lions and the Dolphins to not do well, and I'll win easy. But let's shift
You
away
got
from my
this.
fantasy team and into actual real sports again. We're moving to college football,
Wait,
and what's up?
let's talk about your basketball for a minute, dog.
All right, I was gonna save that till the end. I didn't know if people wanted to talk about
I
it,
mean, we
but
can keep the basketball
yeah, that's true. That's
together.
true. So we have our playoff match coming up
Yeah.
this Sunday. We are the 13 seed, which kind of sucks. I was really hoping to be a higher seed than that, but we did lose our last game that I think we could have won. But we only had 5 people. So we already have everybody bought in. Everybody said they're going to play. So we will have subs. I'm excited about that. Literally, we are undefeated when we had our full team. Weirdly, we only have our full team in games that we can win. I don't really know why that's the case, because there are definitely some teams out there that we would have lost even with all of our people. But I was telling you on the outside, cardio is our big thing. I mean, if we lose by 30 points, it's not because we were 30 points worse than the other team. It's because we had no cardio. There are teams better than us, but the huge difference is cardio. So if we can have 8 people to be able to nullify that cardio part, we can stick in any game. And so I think we are a good shot at pulling the upset on a lot of these teams. So it starts Sunday night. We have to play in a different venue. It's a college basketball court though. I'm ready to show the world. Irvine Valley College, baby. We out here. I don't know what
That's
Irvine Valley College is or why they have a basketball court, but no, it's gonna be fun. Um, I'm excited. Like to have the full squad for the playoffs is huge because we do not have the full squad all that often. So my knee is feeling better. I haven't done anything other than like knees over toes. I haven't jumped. I haven't done anything crazy explosive. I'm saving that maybe for warm up right before the game to see how it feels. But I'm just resting it and it's feeling good. I'm ready. I'm ready to get out there and show the world, shock the world.
hell yeah, bro. I'm excited for y'all. The teams who shouldn't have been in there that escaped through the beginning prelim audits have now been moved to other leagues.
Yeah.
So what remains is you guys ready to beat the fuck out of the worst team that was in 2 leagues above you. And you told me in the last season the people who ended up winning the league should have been called up. They didn't get called up, so hopefully that didn't happen again. I think you said they won by like 20 in the championship
Yeah.
team, that team that just busted all the fucking threes. But so hopefully that shit isn't happening, and you guys are able to kind of keep it locked in, and remember, there's no shot clocks in these leagues. So if you need 30
Right.
seconds to breathe, let me know, and
Well,
I'll just kind of chill.
obviously this is just like a street run kind of. I mean, we pay, so it's at least in that way, but it doesn't have like full on advanced analytics or anything like that. But whoever makes up the seedings, the team that's the second seed in our tournament was on our night and they were okay, but like they're not crazy. So if they truly are like the second best team in this tournament, I think we have a shot. They did beat us, but that was one of the games where we had the 5 people. It was the game that I was super pissed whenever I was texting you and I said they full court pressed us with because they had 10 dudes. Um, they subbed literally every time the ball went out of bounds. They subbed in a new guy and just full court pressed us the whole time. And we're fouling, and we had a bitch ass ref that wouldn't call fouls, and we only had 5 people. So that was the most frustrating game I ever had. But talent wise, I think we can play with them. So if they're the second best team in the tournament, I'd love to see them again with all of our people. So especially if I know they're not going to call fouls anymore, dude, I'm ready to go.
Hell
Um,
yeah.
but yeah, I think we have a shot. We'll see. Maybe next Tuesday, or Wednesday, whenever we record, this will have a different tune to it. But I'm excited right now, and the fact that everybody's bought in, we're all ready to play. We're all seeming like we're loving this team. So I'm hoping that this is the same team moving forward. Like I said, we lose like 2 people after every season and have to pick up 2 fresh meat off the side. So this group is a good group, and if they can stay together and figure out their schedules where they play, I think we have a shot. So it's gonna be really exciting, man. I think we got this one.
Same.
Feeling good.
We're gonna live to talk about it another week. I'm pretty confident in that. No worries. You guys got this. Playing the 4 seed, right?
The 5 seed, right?
5 seed.
Because 13 and 5. We've done enough March Madness to know that is
Oh
13.
yeah,
No,
dumb.
13. Is 13 the 4? Yeah, 13 might be the 4 because 16, 15, 14, 13. Yeah, so the 4. You're right.
Yeah, dumb.
So yeah, but I'm not
And I said, oh duh, and I know 12-5.
too
I
nervous
know.
about it. Yeah, the 12-5 is the upset. That would have been us, man. That's the upset spot. But 13 and 4 is starting to be an upsets more often than not. Oh, I can't wait for March. But let's move on to college football. And
Go Gators.
we're going to talk about all the games because all 6 games are championship games, even though they're not all ranked matchups. Thanks, Purdue. Fucking Purdue. But we'll talk about all of them because they are all championships. So let's start off with we're just going to go in chronological order. And on Friday night, Utah comes to USC. USC has only lost 1 game. Well, they don't go. They're in Las Vegas. Sorry, I need to not say who's home and away anymore. But they're going to Las Vegas. They're going to the home of the Raiders to play USC. And USC has only lost 1 game, and it was to Utah by 1 point because of a 2-point conversion. Utah is smelling the play. Not Utah. USC is smelling the playoffs right now. Caleb Williams silenced me when I said, "Oh, he needs another year. This isn't it. New
Called it.
coach, new quarterback, all this. It's just not the year for them." I said that. Utah tried to prove me right, and then USC said, "Fuck this. I'm not gonna say it again." Caleb Williams for Heisman, he's the guy. USC is gonna roll. They're gonna make it into the playoffs, and I'm excited for them. I mean, obviously, I'm out here in LA area now, so it's pretty cool to have a team doing well. So I think USC is gonna rout Utah, leave no doubt, and take it to the playoffs.
Yeah, I agree. Always thought Caleb Williams was going to be a guy there. Um, I'd called the fresh scenery as being a good thing for him. I think when we talked about Heisman contenders at the beginning of the season, I called for him up there. And I'm
Yeah,
pretty
you definitely
positive.
mentioned him. I was the one that said, like I said, he needed more time, but
Yeah, I'm pretty positive I talked about him in our Heisman lookout at the beginning of the season. And yeah, hey, pretty fucking smart looking in right now. Going to be a Pac-12 team in the playoffs this year. Not going to talk about that much more until 2 years from now when they expand it, and we're going to see all these stupid ass UCLA's and shit in there to get
right.
steamrolled at the 12th spot. But yeah, I have USC by a handful. They didn't forget Utah. Utah was on a revenge tour at that point in time, and yeah, I'm excited for it as well. I think it's going to be a high scoring game. It's just going to be like a 50-30 type high scoring game.
Right. Yeah, it'll be really fun. It'll be all eyes on the Pac-12, which very rarely happens. All right, so before we move on to Saturday, let's talk about what you just mentioned, that the playoff expanding. Finally, the Rose Bowl said that they're fine with it. So instead of being 2026, it's going to expand in 2 years, 2024, just as we're leaving, heading to the Big 12 where we have an automatic bid. But one team is now going to be guaranteed a spot from the group of five. There's a few different ways we can spin this, but me and Eddie were talking, and Dion might come to USF, to the West Florida Community College Cows. How is the possibility to guarantee a playoff berth for these group of five schools going to help recruiting? I mean, like, if you're just trying to recruit to USF, you're fucked. But if you say, hey, we can be the head of the American now, all these teams left for the Big 12, and all we have to do is win the American, which is the conference that gets the committee's love, and you're guaranteed a playoff spot. What sort of pitch can he have to steal from the guys like the Gators and the Knights
Huge.
and that? I mean, it's got to be big, right?
A huge pitch. I mean, we already see what he's able to do in Jackson, Mississippi. He's going to be able to get these guys to come to Tampa, Florida. And on top of that, we saw what Lane Kiffin was able to do, bringing guys to Boca Raton, Florida, to play for FAU. So yeah, these coaches who have always been good at recruiting are going to continue to be good at recruiting no matter what school they are at, no matter where they are. And I think this is where what this decision here that came out today is going to fuck Georgia Tech, because now Dion's going to be able to go there and continually be able to get into the playoffs. Whereas in Georgia Tech, he's going to have to keep fighting with Clemson. He's going to have to fight the Florida State. He's going to have to fight the Wake Forests and so on in the ACC. No, I'm going to take my talents to USF, recruit the fuck out of Florida there, and just take us all the way to the promised land every year in the AAC, and just keep beating up on these fucking Louisvilles and so ons. And yeah, that's if it's between Georgia Tech getting your ass beat and being the fifth best team in the ACC every year, or going to USF and being able to go and fight for a national championship and keep getting paid and not have to worry about your players having pads and jerseys and shit like that, and the team against you having the same, then yeah, that's a no-brainer. He's going to get a lot of backlash going from an HBCU and getting them so hyped up, like, you're going to leave us now? You finally got us going on the right path. But he's going to get a lot of backlash.
Yeah, but he's going to bring all of the HBCU transfers. Anybody that transfers out of a HBCU is going to go to where Dion is coaching, regardless of where it is. So his recruiting class and his transfer portal is going to be nuts. His son, I would assume, is going to follow him wherever the hell he goes. So it's going to suck if it is the Bulls, but he's going to be good wherever he goes. And I think that pitch is going to help him, like you said, be able to choose a group of 5 school over a Power 5, because that's the only
Georgia
reason you would.
Tech has to be pissed.
Yeah, the only reason you would choose a lower tier Power 5 school is just for the chance at a playoff. So now if you can choose a group of 5 school and still have a chance at the playoff, listen, if he makes the playoff and loses to Georgia
Playoffs.
every single year, he's still going to recruit good as fuck, because he's going to be like, hey, we can make the playoffs every single year. And you can't say that at Georgia Tech, so he's happy. But anyways, back to the task at hand. So the next game on the docket is Kansas State and TCU. We've seen this before. It's at Jerry World. Kansas State is the team that I hate to bet against because they always get it wrong. So I'm going to let you go first, or they always get me wrong. So you go first. What do you think's going to happen here?
Team that I love to talk about, not at all. I've bet against them twice this year on my little pick'ems and been wrong. TCU is going to rout the fuck out of Kansas State. I feel like every time I talk about them, I say they're bigger than everybody else. I don't know what it is about these Texas boys coming out of Baylor and Texas Christian University. They just are way bigger than these Texas and Texas Tech boys and these Texas A&M boys. They're just big motherfuckers. And yeah, they're big. They're going to win big. These little horned frogs are going to find themselves in the playoffs where they're probably going to get smacked in the fucking mouth by whoever they play. It's probably going to be Ohio State or Michigan. Poor guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're going to get smacked in the mouth. But hey, they're going to get a chance to go to the playoffs, huh?
It's good for the Big 12. If Kansas State wins, the Big 12 is going to be pissed. Everybody that the Big 12 and the Pac-12 kind of have the same thing, to where it's kind of an unwritten rule. If somebody's doing well enough to potentially be in the playoff, get the fuck off their back. Stop trying to beat them. But Kansas State, they know that they can beat TCU. They know that they can stick. Well, not beat, I guess, but they know that they can stick with TCU, and I think they're going to again. But we've seen TCU get stronger every single week, and I think they're tired of being the underdog, in the sense of like nobody expects them. They've moved up to third. They know now that all they got to do is win, and they are in the playoffs. It's a wrap. Go play Michigan and probably get your ass kicked, unless Purdue can pull a miracle. But it's exciting. Now, if they lose, we'll talk about this after all the games. If they lose, that's when it gets exciting for the committee. But
if Alabama ends up in this fucking playoffs, I swear to God, I will. Oh my God, I don't want to talk about it.
The committee
I'm so mad at LSU.
The committee wants Utah and Kansas State to win. That is what the committee wants, because then Alabama and Ohio State can go get in the fucking playoff, and everybody's happy in the committee room. But I agree with you. I think TCU will win. I think the playoffs are going to be an easy 1, 2, 3, 4 undefeateds, which obviously spoil my picks for later. But I think it's going to be just an undefeated matchup, and it's going to be really exciting in that regard, in that storyline. But let's move on to the next game. And the next game on the docket is our game. It does not have college football playoff implications. If the fucking playoffs were expanded, it would. But it does have Cotton Bowl implications, the New Year's Six Bowl, that I was going to go to. But apparently I have fucking New Year's plans, which kind of sucks. But anyways, we have to win first. But UCF is heading to New Orleans once again, second time in like 4 weeks. We're heading to New Orleans to face Tulane. Tulane came off a huge win in Cincy. I watched that entire game. It was a really good game. That was the Tulane I expected. No offense, again, I always sound like I'm the worst UCF fan in the world, but the Tulane, I've only seen two Tulane games, and the Tulane that played against us was not the Tulane I expected. The Tulane that played against Cincinnati was, and they were fucking good. If I don't know, because last game we played Tulane, JRP ran for like 800 yards and threw like 2 passes. So if that's going to be the game plan, then whatever. But if he's hurt,
JRP doing this game?
If he's hurt and Mikey Keene has to play, It's going to be a completely different game plan. It's going to be a completely different game altogether. Listen, if we have to start Plumlee and just run a fucking wildcat, whatever the hell we did against them last time, and we run up 500 yards of rushing again and we win, I'm down with it.
Nope.
But I'm more scared of Tulane this game than I am last game. But the good news is they don't have a coach anymore. I don't know if he's allowed to coach through the rest of the thing or not. I'm sure he is, but the team probably doesn't give a fuck.
He
And
can
I
opt
think
out of the
that's
bowl game, I think.
and I think that's what is going to make UCF win. For some reason, no offense. Now it's no offense to Tulane. I don't see these guys as a let's win one for coach before he leaves kind of group. They're going to be pissed and they're going to go, this fucking sucks. And it's going to cause that locker room to be in a bit of a skid. So as
That would
long
have
as
been
we
Cincinnati.
keep our heart, yeah, exactly. If we keep our heart and we do our thing, I think we're going to win this game solely because they don't have a coach, and he might be coaching, but it's 1 foot out the door. Actually, both feet are out the door. He's already signed the papers, and so they're just not going to be able to get up as hard for this game. So go Knights.
I want to see first play of the game on offense. Mikey Keene quarterback. If JRP is healthy, I want to see that motherfucker come out of the slot, get some wing runs, get some slant passes going. Go back to your roots of Ole Miss, son. You're not worthy of quarterback anymore. Mikey Keene got that shit done.
How about that game-winning drive, though? Woo.
Bro, that's what I'm saying. We are way more confident in his ability as a quarterback.
Yeah.
Hey, if you want to have some triple boneless wing wish option shit going on with Bowser and Harvey and fucking Plumlee in the backfield and have a three-headed running monster going, that's cool. But we need to take advantage of the throwing ability that Mikey Keene has. And did we need to really do it against Tulane last time? No. Would it have been a lot easier and relaxed game for the fans? Fuck yeah. But
Yeah.
if Mikey Keene would have been able to go over the top, which was given so many different times, and John Reese probably wasn't able to find it, and 5-6 times he was allowed to,
Yeah.
then I think that game would be a lot easier on the fans, and it could end up being a lot bigger game than what it would be with the game plan. That was played last time. It was terrible. I mean, hey, got a dub. We're all down for eating on dubs like Davis.
Exactly.
Fucking A. That was bad.
Wow. Hopefully,
and like,
what do you show?
Like, what do you show a fucking 17-year-old kid that's throwing for 5,000 yards when Florida is going to be like, hey, you're going to be our practice squad guy until you're a senior. Maybe we don't recruit somebody by then. But hey, you got a hell of an arm, kid. And we're going to be like, you can't run, so you might. Like, bro, what's that going to tell these kids who want to come to UCF, but no, like, hey, I have arm talent. I don't have leg talent.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be able to play in a Gus Malzahn offense.
Well, listen, Gus Malzahn coached in the SEC. I'm sure he coached against some Big 12 teams, but you do not need a running quarterback in the Big 12. You need a dude that can fucking sling the ball. So hopefully he figures that out.
He's going to learn. He's going to learn real quick.
Yeah.
Time, if Oklahoma, right? It's not written on the walls that Oklahoma and Texas are gone to the SEC, right?
They are gone. They're just not gone for a couple years.
All right, so it's going to take one game against Oklahoma real quick, and that motherfucker tries to hit the edge 3 different times, and the defensive tackle that's lined up on the fucking B gap when he's trying to hit the fucking right edge comes over here.
Comes all the way.
His ass.
Yeah.
He's going to be like, all right, fuck. Like,
Yeah.
These guys are faster, bro. They're same size. Like, that's the difference in these 3-star, 4-star, 5-star players. Like, yeah, God built all football players different. They're just bigger. Well, the big ones and the real ones that make it to the big guy league are just bigger and faster than everybody else.
For sure. It'll be a rude awakening. So we'll see what happens. But we got some good people in the pipeline ready for next year. All right, so let's move on to what there's not even a good game. No offense to any of these teams. I don't think there will be a bunch of good games.
Hey,
but
Georgia is only going to win by 30, okay?
But the next game, like Seal's talking about, is LSU heading to Mercedes-Benz to face Georgia. At least if they would have won last week, they would say, like, LSU could be a 2-loss conference champ. Even though everybody knows it's not going to be a win. But this is your game, so you take it first. What do you think's going to happen?
All right. I think LSU is going to have a fighting chance. They're going to come out the tunnel looking rowdy. They're going to have their little Brian Kelly swag going. And then the kickoff's going to happen, and they're going to get smacked in the mouth. Dude's probably going to shit his britches, not going to be able to catch the opening kickoff, fumble the ball. Georgia's going to score right off rip, be up 7-0. I think this is going to be bad. I think this could get really bad. Georgia is another type TCU team who hasn't given up too many hiccups as of late, and they're kind of worrisome. And yeah, they're firing on all cylinders. And LSU seems to have been that team all year. They're like, what was that song? You're hot in your Katy Perry. Seem to
Yeah.
be on their Katy Perry shit. It just depends on what team shows up. It could be a close game. Hell, LSU could end up winning by 2 touchdowns. It could happen. That offense could explode. That defense could actually tackle again for a game. But I doubt it.
Yeah.
Stetson Bennett is a dog. Bowser brother over there. I don't know the tight end's name, but he's a dog. Bowers. His name's Bowers.
Yeah.
But he's a dog. They're just fucking dogs because they're the Georgia Bulldogs. Yeah, Georgia by a million.
Well, I think this is going to be the most lopsided game in the whole weekend. And we're about to talk about an unranked team with the next game. I still think this is going to be the most lopsided game. I think Georgia, like LSU might not even score 10 points and the over under is 51. Like Georgia is going to just run these dudes ragged. It's going to be bad. Jaden Daniels is okay. But listen, anytime you take a grad transfer from Arizona State, you already know there's going to be a little bit of an issue. He's not the greatest player in the world, and George is built different. LSU got some good luck charms out there. Some of their big wins that they got were lucky, but the 3 losses really show you that they're really not that good. You lost to FSU. It's like, come on. And FSU is the best team in Florida, highest ranked at least. But man, come on, LSU. So I think it's going to be around. I think it's going to be the easiest. The spread is the biggest at 17.5, but I think it's the easiest spread that's going to cover in the whole thing. So just go ahead and bet it. But the next game is another, what's the word? Dang, an easy word. What is it when they neutral site? Jesus Christ. Neutral site game where they're heading to the home that Peyton built in Indianapolis, which actually is closer to Purdue, I believe, than it is Michigan. So that's kind of cool. But Michigan is Michigan, and this is going to be a fun game. I think Purdue actually has what it takes to make it a fun game, make it an exciting game. They're just not as talented as Michigan, so they're not going to win. But their quarterback is really good. He can keep a game close because he can throw, unlike Jaden Daniels with LSU. So Purdue is going to maybe keep it close for a half or so. I think Michigan's going to run away with it at the end, the same way they did with Ohio State, and make it look pretty easy. But Purdue is going to make it exciting, at least while you're sitting down to eat your dinner and you're just like, oh, hey, look, it's a game. And then by the time your dinner's done, you're like, ah, man, Michigan won. But I think it'll be a fun game. And anybody that thinks Purdue's out of it just because they're unranked, they haven't watched Purdue play football, they'll have a good time. So, but I have to go with Michigan.
Yeah, same. It's going to be a fun game to watch. It's just going to come down to mistakes. Purdue's going to make too many mistakes. Michigan's a solid team. They're going to be able to gain off of those and make those into points. And at the end of the day, those 5 or 6 mistakes are going to turn into 20, 30 points. And that's what's going to be the difference in this game. But yeah, the first half, I think Purdue's going to be able to come out hyped up as fuck and show the world what they're capable of, or at least whoever the fuck's going to be watching the championship game for the Big Ten. But they're going to be able to show people what they're building up to and what they're getting ready to do. And then those mistakes are going to start coming out, I feel like, and Michigan's going to be able to take advantage of them and kind of make this into a 2-score game.
Nice. Well, the last game of the day, I don't know if ESPN gets first dibs on who their primetime matchup is on ABC, which is owned by ESPN. That's why I said that. but whoever did it picked the wrong game. Which maybe it'll be the closest game, I guess. But as far as pure entertainment watching football, they picked the wrong game to go into prime time. But it's Clemson and North Carolina at Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte. Maybe they'll have the little panther turn into a tiger and run around. But what do you think is going to happen in this game? I think it's going to be a shit show, man. The over under 63.5. I think that's fucking stupid. But maybe UNC can score 60. But what do you have going on here?
I honestly think North Carolina is going to be able to win this one by at least 10.
Yeah.
If we are doing upsets this week, this would be mine
That's
if you
both
didn't
of our
steal
pick.
it.
Yeah, that's both
Yeah,
of our pick. It's the
like
only one that's gonna win.
there's no reason North Carolina shouldn't win this game. Like you said, it's going to be ugly. It's just going to be a rough game, and North Carolina is going to come up winning. Like it's if you like ACC football from back in the day, and you like clean offense, rough defense, solid defensive back play, don't watch this game. You're going to be really pissed off. You're going to realize that there are linemen on the field in the ACC because it just seems like these quarterbacks are always able to do what they want. Runners are able to kind of get around the edge and shit like that. No, you're going to realize how bad these guys really are in the ACC championship game this year and realize how rough you all are as a conference. And we've been calling it for the last 6 years now, but it's getting pretty bad for you guys when the other two teams that could have been in here is Wake Forest and fucking Florida State.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, it's going to be a slop fest. North Carolina is going to come out on top, and hopefully, Uji Bougie is it's just done. Hopefully, it's done.
Is he still the quarterback? I don't even know. But
he got
Clemson,
benched. I don't know if he got it back or not.
When you lose to South Carolina, like you shouldn't get to play in your championship game.
You had Spencer Rattler smoking a cigar in the locker room. That can't happen.
You shouldn't get to play in your championship game. You should have to forfeit. But no, I mirror at literally.
The motherfuckers are 2-0 against top 10 teams after losing to us. See what we did?
Yeah, that's true. I mirror everything you said. Like it would have been my upset pick as well because I guess UCF is also the underdog, but I don't think there's any other team that could even potentially pull the upset. And I think North Carolina is almost a guarantee to win this. Clemson's 8-0 in the ACC. That should show ACC fans how bad the ACC actually is, because when Clemson's not playing, they're 2-2. And it's not even against tough teams. So it's just the ACC is that bad. But North Carolina, they've been good for a few years now, at least passable for a few years now. And I hope that they do what they can do, because I think they can win. It's crazy that Clemson's a 7.5-point favorite. I think North Carolina can win outright and just show why the ACC is the team that's going to be left out of the playoffs. That's what's going to happen that night. So we're pretty much in agreement, which means something's going to go wrong.
Yeah.
But our four teams, I guess, are Georgia, Michigan, TCU, and USC, right? The four, not undefeated. I guess USC is not undefeated, but the four conference champs going on and making the playoffs happen.
Yeah.
Huh?
Absolutely.
I think that'd be a great playoff if that's what happens.
Yeah, I do as well. So there's no way Ohio State sneaks in. And if any team did sneak in, it would be Ohio State over Alabama, correct? We can both agree with that.
Well, I guess the issue would be which team loses. Because if Michigan loses, I think Michigan stays in. Ohio State would get in if Michigan wins and then one of the other two teams lose. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah.
Like if Georgia, TCU, USC all win, but then Michigan loses, I think Michigan only drops to 4 and they still make it in.
Okay.
But yeah, if any of the other teams lose, yeah, I think Ohio State has to be the next team up. It can't be two loss Alabama.
What if Michigan and TCU lose? Michigan and Ohio State?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, if TCU loses, they're done. They don't stand a chance. If TCU and USC loses, then Bama's rolling happy.
Oh man.
Making
I
history.
don't say that. Do not say that.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Tell me
crazy.
there's no chance Alabama can get in right now. There's no shot. There's no shot.
I can't tell you that, man.
What about Tennessee?
Alabama would make it over Tennessee.
Tennessee
For
beat
sure.
Alabama.
For sure. Two
How
loss
many
Alabama will
losses
make
did
it in over
Tennessee
two.
have?
Georgia
Right.
and
South Carolina.
Vanderbilt, right? No, they
Right?
lost to fucking
No.
Vanderbilt.
Was it
No,
Vanderbilt?
they
No,
they rolled Vanderbilt. Who was it? South
it was
Carolina?
South Carolina.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, but
Pretty
they got
positive.
rolled by South Carolina. Like Alabama didn't get rolled by anybody, did they? They lost to
No, they were
LSU and
like
Tennessee.
like late games, late
Yeah,
in the end of the game. Yeah.
yeah. So
I
they'll
just
make
fucking
it.
hate Alabama.
What about Clemson jumping all the way up
Fuck
if they win?
Clemson. Fuck
No.
Clemson. They're not
Yeah.
shit. They're not shit. I'm so happy that the rankings show
Yeah.
that they're not shit. They're the
Yeah.
best team in the ACC in their eyes, and they're not shit.
I agree.
I can appreciate that. They should have fucking Valparaiso ranked ahead of them.
So let's, before we get out of here, we'll do a shout out, obviously. But the last thing I want to talk about, let's be a UCF fan for a second. UCF, let's assume that the four that we said make the playoffs, the four that are already in there, and let's assume that UCF wins over Tulane. Who do you, as a UCF fan, want to see in the Cotton Bowl? It would have to be.
LSU.
It wouldn't be Ohio State because they'd go to the Rose Bowl. It would be Alabama, Tennessee. I don't think LSU would. Well, I guess they're the runner-up. They would have to have a shot, right? So, or maybe Penn State. So you want to see LSU? You want a rematch?
Yeah, rematch that shit.
Because yeah, Utah and Ohio State would go to the Rose Bowl.
You know what? I want a rematch for you, brother.
Alabama, no, LSU might make the Sugar Bowl though. Like, I would love to see LSU. They might not invite LSU if they have 4 losses. Even if they're the runner-up, they might not get the invite to the New Year's Six Bowl.
True.
So it might be Alabama, Tennessee, Penn State, or Kansas. No, because Kansas State would lose
Don't
in
want to
that
see
situation.
Alabama.
Florida State. Florida State would have a possibility.
Don't want to see Alabama because UCF fans are still able to talk that shit against Alabama for now.
Want to know, baby?
Like, can talk that shit. I don't want to face Alabama yet. We're not there. Give us
What
a
about Florida
couple
State?
years.
You think we could
Oh,
take
I'm
Florida
down.
State?
I'm down.
All right, let's do
Our
that.
defense,
Let's do Florida
bro,
State.
What the fuck he gonna do? Jordan Travis, you got 2 first names, motherfucker.
Let's do
What
Florida
are you
State.
gonna do?
I'm down with Florida State.
We're gonna break your body. We're gonna say mean things and do them.
Yeah, that's gonna be it. They're gonna invite Florida State, and we're gonna.
Y'all gonna wish y'all had Travis Hunter to help Jordan Travis.
All right, do you got any cool shout outs to get us out of here?
Not really.
Me neither.
I get bad at these.
Let's head to the ESPN zone and see if there's anything. Well, you know what? Let's shout out. Let's pull full circle and let's shout out who we shouted out at the beginning of the game. Team America, World Police, the U.S. men's national team. They did what nobody thought that they could do. Really, I mean, as soon as we drew Wells near the end of the game, they were like, "All right, well, I guess USA is done." We came into this match against Iran, and nobody really expected us to make it. Iran actually had a higher percentage of making the knockout stage than we did going into that game, and we took care of business. We did what we had to do. We lost our captain in the process, but he scored. He did his thing, and made it happen. So. Team USA, you're awesome. You did exactly what we were ready for you to do. And so be like Team USA. When the odds are against you, say fuck the odds and go out there and get it done. And as always, be a stud, not a scrub.